We've had a really active winter so far, especially this month, and I think the worst of winter is yet to come. We're going to talk about that in today's video, and we're going to talk about the snow that's ahead just over the first part of the weekend and into next week. Here's where we are in the upper levels. We've got this cold air here across the eastern and the central U.S., northwest flow pulling in more cold air as this low across the Hudson Bay continues to spiral to the south. We're going to see this dip as we head into next week too, so some cold temperatures, at least below average, I think, as we head through the weekend into early next week, and then this is going to bring some light snow into the Great Lakes. Some of that snow could be on the heavy side, especially downwind of the lakes. Here across the west, Pacific air charging into the northwest. This is going to bring our temperatures up here across western Canada and also across the Pacific Northwest. Here in the east, though, we're cold, and that's going to stay cold, I think. Now, a bit of a break, though, once we head toward Tuesday and Wednesday. Some warmer air, at least in the upper levels, trying to show up. This pattern here isn't a super cold one. However, I will tell you, you may get a brief break, but I feel like things are just reloading because as we get toward the end of next week, we start to see a dramatic change once again. This looks like a lot of cold air. This is straight down from the North Pole, just funneling down into Canada and North America, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. And I can't help but look at this pattern, this huge blocking up across Alaska, over Greenland. This is ripe for a central or eastern United States snowstorm. Again, not West Coast. In fact, your storm track is up here into British Columbia, and we're relatively quiet compared to what it would normally be like maybe in an El Nino year across Southern California. Hey, welcome to today's video. I'm Travis. If it's your first time coming over, or if you're one of the new thousands of subscribers, it's just blown me away, the support you guys have given me here on YouTube. Welcome to the channel. I used to be in the meteorology business years ago. I got out. I find myself looking at this type of stuff, so I started making videos about it about a year ago. So if you like this content, subscribe, give the video a like. It helps. I do appreciate all of those of you who have done so, and let's just get into it. Let's talk about the snow that's moving through the Ohio Valley, also the Mid-Atlantic through the overnight. We'll continue to see that across North Carolina, even some mixed precipitation across South Carolina. Snow could be heavy at times into Virginia, West Virginia. It will move offshore as we head into Saturday. So by Saturday morning, the low now off the coast, it's moving away with some lighter snow here into the northeast and maybe a few upslope snow showers here into West Virginia, Pennsylvania, down into Virginia and North Carolina. We're already watching the next system. That's going to bring some light snow here to the northern Rockies, and then it's going to move across the northern plains close to the Great Lakes as we move towards Sunday morning. Snow starts to break out across Wisconsin, Michigan, down into Illinois and Indiana. It's going to be some light snow here, though. The heaviest snow looks to be to the north, up into Ontario, and then here in and around the Great Lakes. Across the south, some rain showers start to pick up heading into Monday as a weak system moves along the Gulf Coast into Florida. And then with this westerly wind component and some pretty chilly air in place, we're going to keep the lake effect snow going here Tuesday into Wednesday and maybe even into Thursday. So a prolonged lake effect snow event for several days here around the Great Lakes. Winds may actually shift a little bit out of the northwest, and that may change the direction of those snow bands. And then here's that warmer air trying to settle in, at least across the central plains and across the west. Now, as we move through the rest of the week, this right here would be your change as we head toward the Thursday, Friday, Saturday timeline. Now, if all this comes together, the upper level pattern definitely turns cold, and it's going to be tough to time out a storm 8-9 days, but I'm not going to do that, but look at the idea of storm development certainly showing up on the operational models long range, and with this type of pattern, that's a snowy one. So let's keep an eye on that time period. Through the overnight, here's a closer look at the snow. We'll see a few snow showers back here into Illinois and Wisconsin. Also up here into Michigan, downwind of the lakes, the lake effect starts to kick in with lighter snows moving up into Pennsylvania and New York, even into southern parts of Ontario here. So Toronto, Montreal, a little bit of snow for you guys, and even up toward Boston. Some snow here. We could get some light accumulations, and we're done with the snow now here in the Mid-Atlantic as our storm pulls away. A few lingering snow showers as we head into Saturday afternoon here for the northeast and down here into the mountains and downwind of the lakes. Otherwise, we're starting to dry out here across a lot of the east and southeast. Some mixed precipitation out ahead of our next system trying to work to the east here across parts of Iowa and to Kansas too. We could see some showers across Oklahoma and even a little bit of snow back here across Colorado as this system dives in from the northwest. Most of the energy though moving toward the Great Lakes. Not a lot of precip with this. The snow really up into this region across Iowa, Illinois, up into Wisconsin and Michigan. Back across the Rockies, we start to quiet down and dry out as we head towards Sunday, and then maybe a few snow showers here heading into Monday. A look at your totals, not a lot. This is the official forecast numbers from the National Weather Service on top of anything that you may already have. A couple of inches up here into Ohio, maybe some more here into Virginia, West Virginia, and down into North Carolina. Already getting some reports of some snow accumulating here on Friday. a little bit more through the overnight hours, and up here into West Virginia and Virginia, some of those winter storm warnings have been adjusted a little bit. So make sure you head to weather.gov and see what you're under. Some of these totals could exceed 6 inches, especially into some of the higher elevations, but a good widespread, I think 3 to 6 in many areas. And that extends across central Virginia, not quite up into northern Virginia, up into Maryland. We're not going to get the heavy snow here. It's going to be south of you this time. So a couple of inches here for Richmond, and it kind of gets heavy as you get close to that North Carolina line, and we could see several inches, in the order of 2, 3, maybe even 4 inches. The further south you go, those numbers fall off pretty quickly. Let's look at the GFS just for some comparison as we head into next weekend. I showed you the European there. This is the GFS, keeping the lake effect snow going. There's your warming toward the middle part of the week, and here comes your rush of Arctic air as we head toward the weekend, really about a week from now. And it's pretty similar looking here. That's a lot of cold air pushing south, and you got to think along that we're going to see some kind of storm form. Where will it be? How strong will it be? What's going to happen after that? I take the GFS and just throw it away, but the idea that we stay stormy is there. I think that's why with this pattern setting up as we head toward the 20th, 21st, and maybe beyond, we stay very active, and the worst of winter I think is still ahead. Just for kicks, take a look at this, showing at least an idea that we're going to be near or below normal across a lot of the country, with the exception of southern Texas. Taking this out even further, they also released the 8 to 14 day. That takes you into next weekend. That cold we're seeing move south, they're seeing that clearly too. It's showing up here in their forecasts, and I think that's why. You can definitely see it here on the models. This is a cold pattern setting up. All right, that's all I got for now. Hey, if you enjoyed this content, if you made it this far, I hope that means you like this content. I hope you'll come back and subscribe. See you next time.